I have created many quick guides, tips, and tutorials with a lot of information about the DX7 and its FM synthesis. But if you are so accustomed to subtractive synthesis like analog synthesizers with harmonic-rich waveforms, filters, and ADSR envelopes, you can get lost in the FM synthesis jungle. So, if you are still unsure about getting your DX7, or if you still found that the FM synthesis is confusing and complex, there is a different way for you to start your FM synthesis journey. So, where do you start? If you think the DX7 6-operator algorithms are too scary or look like an alien language, you can start with little brothers of the DX7, 4-operator FM synths. Benefits of having 4-operator FM synths are: it's easy to understand as there are only 8 algorithms. There are less parameters to change. Also, some of 4-operator FM synths have selectable waveforms, allowing them to create harmonic-rich tones without using many operators. So, are 4-operator FM synths as good as 6-operator FM synths? The biggest difference is not about selectable waveforms, but having extra 2 operators and how the DX7 can use them to create amazing sounds. Here is an example of the difference between 4 operators and 6-operator FM synths. I created the famous lately bass using my DX7 Mark I. I used algorithm 14, which is the closest to the 4-operator FM algorithms used for the lately bass. I can turn on and off tower 1 with operators 1 and 2 to simulate 4-operator FM synths. So, for 4-operator FM synths, the bass sound is created by tower 2 with operators 3, 4, 5, and 6. For bass sound, it sounds okay, but watch what will happen if you add extra 2 operators. Wow, it gets really fatter. With extra 2 operators, I can introduce an additional sine wave to make the lately bass as a window lateral. It makes the bass sound fatter with the lower end. For this reason alone, I don't have hardware 4-operator FM synths. But for educational purpose and having some fun by quickly creating an FM sound, it can be a great tool. You can buy hardware synths such as Yamaha DX100, DX21, DX27, or TX81Z with the famous lately bass. Or if you are not sure about getting actual hardware, then you can try software for 4-operator FM synths. For example, if you already own smartphones or iPads, you can even get a low-cost 4-operator FM synth app. For example, I bought the FM synth app for my iPad called FM4, which is a 4-operator FM synth. So, let's have a quick tour of FM4. We can start with important parameters. On your left, there are routing arrows and routing structures. They are algorithms. There is a feedback knob to control the amount of feedback applied to a feedback looped operator. In this patch, operator 4. The oscillator section sits in the middle, called pitch, with frequency ratio both coarse and fine, as well as selectable waveforms. There are 4 ADSR envelopes with a hold button on the left. There are 4 knobs for output level. Velocity sensitivity is controlled by a slider for each operator, as well as a velocity switch on the left. What I really like about this FM synth is that it has a very simple interface. Everything is on a screen. It has much simpler envelopes using ADSR for quick sound design. It's so portable and you can take it anywhere. I take it to my work and make some patches during my lunch break. There is a noise and aliasing as well as other artifacts from hardware DA converters that are emulated, giving that old DX series synth sounds from the 80s. The overall interface and its use of ADSR envelopes makes it very easy for analog and subtractive synthesizer users to transition from their analog synths to learn basics of FM synthesis. On the right-hand side, there is a unison mode to make thicker sounds. You can use glide to control platement time. There is a switch to control noise and aliasing of the old DX synths. There is a LA4. There is a pitch envelope. There is an arpeggiator. At the top, you have a tempo setting, global tuning, and MIDI setup. Also, there is a screen for patch selection as well as arrows. You can save your own patches by pressing the Save button. Now, we will concentrate on sound design using FM4 for 4-operator FM synthesis. I will start by showing you how to emulate famous DX7 patches as close as possible using only 4 operators. We can start with emulating the DX7 famous bass 1 patch. Select bass old FM bass from its preset banks. Once selected, check the routing on the left. This is algorithm 4. We will use this routing. We will set feedback to 0. We will change pitch as follows. Operator 1 is 0.50. Operator 2 is 0.50. Operator 3 is 0.50. Operator 4 is 5.00. For envelopes, we will make minor changes to decay for operator 2, operator 3, and operator 4. We will slightly decrease output level for operator 3 and operator 4. At this stage, we will not apply velocity sensitivity. Let's hear the sound. It's very close. So, let's see the result. This is how you need to set your FM4 for the DX7 Base 1 patch. Algorithm is 4. Feedback is 0. For pitch, operator 1 is 0.50. Operator 2 is 0.50, operator 3 is 0.50, and operator 4 is 5.00. For envelopes, we only make minor changes to decay for operator 2, operator 3, and operator 4. We will slightly decrease output level for operator 3 and operator 4. There is no velocity sensitivity applied. Now, let's try applying velocity. We will start with operator 4, which produces a metallic tone for the DX7 Base 1 sound. If you increase it slightly and press the upper part of the virtual keys, you get too much modulation. It looks like FM4 uses velocity in a different way. For the DX7, when you apply velocity, output level and envelope level determine the upper limit. So, when you apply velocity, you get very soft tone when played soft. But for FM4, it seems it adds more modulation based on your initial level setting. When you play soft, you still get the same amount of modulation. When you press harder, you get extra modulation added to initial level. This means that you need to reduce level first, then set velocity to find the sweet spot. So, this is a velocity setting for the DX7 Bass 1 patch. You can see that I decreased level for operators 3 and 4. Then, I applied velocity to all operators. Savior patch went down. So, how did we create the DX7 Bass 1 patch on FM4 using only 4 operators? The answer is to use a similar algorithm. The DX7 algorithm used for the Bass 1 patch is algorithm 16. For 4 operator FM synths like FM4, algorithm 4 is very similar, except for lacking operators 5 and 6. Also, I applied the same pitch or frequency ratio settings to FM4. So, operator 1 is 0.50, operator 2 is 0.50, operator 3 is 0.50, and operator 4 is 5.00. With minor adjustments to envelopes and levels, you get the close emulation of the DX7 Bass 1 patch. Now, let's look at parameters on the left. Let's play with the arpeggiator. We can put on going up, we can put to going down. You can put to going up and down. Or you can put the mixture of both. You can control the rate. If it's lower than half, it gets too slow. You can play around with range. 1 is just a single note, 2 is 2 notes, 3 is 3 notes with 2 octave ranges. Let's play with the unison mode. When you set to 3 stacking, you get some nice sequencing sound. The model button allows you to select the amount of background noise and arising noise put into the sound. The Model 1 is very close to the DX7 Mark I output. The Model 2 introduces more noise. The Model 3 is a combination of both, and so it gets really noisy. It's actually not that much different to the DX7 headphone output. It has a very noisy phone output. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial session. I'm really hoping that this tutorial series will help analog synthesizer fans who want to learn very basics of FM synthesis. For part 2, I will cover sound design of another DX7 famous patch using FM4, so stay tuned. See you later!